Is Joe Burrow back? What did the Arizona Cardinals allow the Bengals to do that we simply cannot afford? And why in the world are we all singing the Bengals banger Eternal Flame? Find out this and a whole lot more on this week's episode of Seahawkers What If, as we ask, what if we burn the Bengals? Let's go. Welcome friends to the newest edition of Seahawkers What If, the most unique preview show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by the one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz. And of course, it would not be, it could not be, we could not traverse the Seahawks multiverse without the protector of the Seahawks multiverse, and that is Mr. Phil Leidick. Join us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast. If that's where you're watching it now, you gotta like, you gotta subscribe, you gotta drop the comments. Hey, if this is just in your ears on the audio platforms, hey, we love you there too. What can you say? Love me 2 times, Brandon. I'm going away. Our Seahawks are going away. We're heading to Cincinnati. That's in Ohio. Get the Skyline chili ready. And let's check in really quickly with each other. I'll go to Mr. Phil first. Mr. Phil, how was your bye week? How are you feeling? How was your Hawkra?
I'm feeling great. I think we won the bye week, and it was all wins. We get Adams back, we get Cross back. That's a win, big win.
Yeah, the only thing is the team that looks like they might go 17-0. We won't talk about them. Brandon, how was your bye week?
I mean, the Eagles are okay, but I don't expect them to go 17-0.
Bravo, well done. We did an applause track for that, built in. Well done, Brandon. Well done.
I'm going to be in the stadium on Thanksgiving, and I'm taking my sons to their very first Seahawks game. So there has to be a Thanksgiving win. So it can't possibly mean anything else. You couldn't have possibly meant anything else.
Exactly. That's exactly why it led me down that other path, and nothing to do with this weekend at all, because, both of those teams won that I think we're thinking about right now. And the thing is though, it's great coming off of a win and going into a game against a team that is a good measuring stick game for the season going forward.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun test. And I don't know about you guys. I mean, I'm sure we all watched at this point, or at least saw some of the highlights and the replays of the Bengals versus the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy, and we'll get into the previously with the protector where Mr. Phil, you get to recap it for us and tell us what you saw. But in general, I'm kind of happy that wasn't us. That wasn't the us game, because I think over the years it has kind of tended to be us, but the Burrow is back and Jamar is back. Cool. Let somebody else, try that 20-foot putt, and we're in the same line, but we got an 18-foot putt. So now we got a nice line, and we know what not to do. We learned what not to do to defend Joe Burrow very, very often with all those targets. So Mr. Phil, as we get into previously, what do you want to share about these cats? And what would be our big theme for this week?
Well, gentlemen, as we jump into our previously, I'm excited about this matchup. There's so many cool things to check out in this particular matchup. I'm thinking we should put it on the screen so we can see what I did see. But on offense, they are currently 25th by DVOA, but that's mostly because of their poor start, and Burrow's having only one leg to go on. He's quite different now. But it's about Chase, touchdowns. Number 1, watch out for him. They kept scheming him into single coverage, or he was just getting open into single coverage. But he is the center of their attack. Their O-line was oft overwhelmed, particularly in the run game. They're leaky in pass pro as well. And I noticed especially sketchy on the edge. Burrow is brilliant at drifting away and still finding completions, even as the pressure's coming his way. Gets rid of that ball just crazy fast when he decides. Irwin, he's not even one of their 3 starters listed on their depth chart, but number 16 had 8 catches. He seemed like that annoying dude that could sneak around and get the Seahawks, but maybe the cards exposed him for us already, so keep an eye out there. Their defense is pretty bad, especially against the run, 23rd still by DVOA. They got shoved around like crazy in the run game. You might have noticed Connor was just tearing him up. He had 7.7, and until he got hurt, the cards were right there. I mean, it was a 3-point game back and forth. And then Dobbs tried to throw him a bunch of picks. They got 2 of them. Dobbs had looked good until this game, and then I don't know. The tackling was fairly pathetic. When If somebody has the ball, there's a good chance that we're going to break tackles. Pratt, number 57, made some key stops. Their defensive ends brought solid pressure. Of course, number 91 I think he's number 2 in sacks in the league. Right down, that's Hendrickson. Got to watch out for him. Big reason I think they're 9th against the pass is how quick they are to come around the edge on pass pro. That's what I saw. Did you guys notice anything else? I think Clinton mentioned a lot of what he noticed. Did you want to add anything, Brandon, on this one?
I am just as good as this defensive line is. It surprises me that they've struggled as much as they have against the run. Because especially interior wise, DJ Reader, BJ Hill, I think of them as solid dudes. And so I haven't gone back through all the games because they've faced some pretty tough rushing teams. And I am kind of curious of how teams have found a way to expose the defensive line in terms of the run game.
Yeah, it seems like their philosophy is win by stopping the pass and win by passing. Like if you can decide that running matters, then you can dominate them pretty well. At least maybe that's their philosophy. I don't know if you saw anything different, Clinton.
No, that's been about it. Like I'm sure we'll get into it, and you nailed it. They do create pressure. Like the D edges they create some havoc. They create pressure. But I like our chances. I like our ability to scheme, to use our tight ends. I'm sure we'll get into all that as well.
Yes.
I think and this is a team where some teams you got to make one-dimensional. This team kind of like makes themselves one-dimensional. So like it's like, okay, so again, it's like we saw what Arizona did, and there were certain things they did and did not do, and we can get into that as the episode progresses. I have a take and I have a big fear, and I hope that we hope the bye week was really cool. So the players and the coaches are sitting there just watching the game live and literally texting. Like I could see that being the thing that's happening, that they're talking live, texting to each other, and just kind of having like instant discovery of, okay, this is how we could not act the way Arizona's acting. So we're just not getting burned consistently. What was it, 19 targets for Chase? Something like that, something insane. Okay, you can't stop the targets. The targets might be there, but you sure as heck can mitigate the completion percentage and some of the deep shots that he ended up completing too. So we got plenty to talk about. We see the beautiful theme on the screen. So the theme on the screen. So before I go any further, Mr. Phil, what is our big themiology for the week 6 versus these Bengals?
Well, as you can see it, as it burns into our eyes here, big bad Bengals. What do Bengals fear? Well, Shere Khan, the one that terrorized the jungle. It was man's red fire that he wanted to stop. And so I was thinking, as you remember Mowgli, he attaches the fire. That's what deals with Shere Khan. What if the Seahawks, if we can fly in with fire in our beaks and burn the Bengals this week? I got 6 categories for you to pick from. This is game number 5 for us, which means Brandon to go first. The categories are Eternal Flame, Flamethrower, Fire in the Hole, Play with Fire, Fire Truck, or Burning Love. What do you got, Brandon?
Ooh, Burning Love. Let's start there.
Right to Burning Love. You might think that Mr. Love will be in this one, but no. Here we go. Burning Love. What if there's a likely scenario that you'd love to see catch fire in this game? How might the Hawks fry this team that's starting to heat up, Brandon?
You know what? I love that the theme is fire, because in the flagship show, we got an email from Ben who was trying to come up with a good name for Zach Charbonnet, like a good nickname. And he landed on the nickname of Char Bonnet, because it's another way to pronounce Charbonnet. And he could keep his name, but it's a nickname. And so I love that it's Char. And in the week of fire, scaring the Bengals, how great would it be for Zach Charbonnet to have a great run game? Like him and K9 tag team up for 160-yard plus rushing day, because the average that the Bengals have been allowing on the ground is over 150 yards per game.
That's right.
So
Factually correct.
If they can team up and Zach Charbonnet and K9 tag teaming up, char those Bengals.
I love it. And I put likely scenario that we'd like to see. And this is a likely situation that we could see this week, is just charring them up in the run game. What do you got, Clinton? Is there something that we might be able to burn them up with?
Yeah, no, love Brandon's answer. And, also just thinking back quickly to like, okay, Panthers were giving up like 140 yards per week. We charred them pretty good on the ground. Giants were giving up like 140 yards per week or so. Okay, we didn't get that volume, but we still did plenty of damage on the ground in a game where the offense was limited for other reasons anyway. And this one's a 150 a week. So Brandon, I love the answer. The only twist I'm going to have to take here, the liberty I'm going to have to take, is with that word likely. It's a very purposeful word. You put it there on purpose. And this is also like, okay, 4 sacks against Carolina, 11 sacks versus the Giants. By the way, 2 sacks versus Detroit with good pressure. Yeah. Detroit's given up 5 sacks all year. So when people are like, well, we've really only showed good pressure for 1 game, Boulder Dash, we've shown good pressure now basically for 2.5 games, like just go check the math. So I'm going to go there. Arizona is one of the teams that blitzes the very least in the NFL. They cranked it up a little bit more. They were like a 23% pass rush, blitz rate against Burrow from like 19, which is like league low. Okay. They gave Burrow time, and he's already trying to get rid of the ball in like, under 2.5 seconds. All right. So let's manufacture the pass rush. Let's send Bobby. Let's do what we've been doing. The thing is, don't fall into the trap that Burrow is 100% healed. He's not. He's still got a calf problem. He's still inaccurate right now with that calf problem when you get pressure on him. So that's the scenario, guys. It's just we are the more aggressive team. We do not do what the Cardinals did. We dial up more blitzes. We send more stunts in their face, get the linebackers going. And that's a scenario where we just get Burrow. He's good, but don't allow him to take over the game. They're not going to run the ball effectively against us. So that's my answer.
I love it. I like both these possibilities. Very
Me
possible.
too.
And you
I want both of them. Yes.
We went above and beyond. You called for 8 sacks, and we went up, and I thought that was crazy. And you went above and beyond. Our Hawks went above and beyond even your super positive hope for last game.
Yeah,
what do you got this time, Clinton?
I feel like I went above and beyond. You're absolutely right, Mr. Phil.
Did.
All right.
You're cheering. You cheered them. You went to the stadium and cheered them to 3 more than your hopeful guess. Yeah.
Guys, I was there. All right. So look, we started with Burning Love, a little hunk of Burning Love. I'm going to stick around the song themes, and I'm going to recall to a little Rolling Stones, don't you play with me because you're playing with fire. So let's go with Play with Fire.
I thought when you said song, you might go somewhere else, but and everybody.
Oh yeah, there's another one up there too. That's right. Yeah, for
everybody can thank me for not trying an Elvis impersonation on the last one. Play with fire. Play with fire. What if there's something, Clinton, you'd hate to see the Hawks implement on D against the Bengals? Should a certain combustible strategy be verboten against this team?
Yes. And I was hinting at it, so I'll be more concise with it before. I was saying it before, but it's the same, because this is the D. It is the same answer. Let us not rely on getting pressure with 4. Let's not do the thing where we are, rushing 3 and then going into zone. Burrow, that's where he gets time, and he could pick apart zone coverage. Again, it's about, yes.
Traditionally, he's awesome against the blitz. He just hasn't been this year. And I'm wondering if his leg being better, things are going to change. But
he's a little bit better. He's still not healed, though. You can see it. It's like, yes, he's getting a little bit more. His escapability is coming back. He's a darn good quarterback, and he's a gamer too. And I like Joe Burrow. With all that, he's not healed yet. And you could still see that he's missing dudes, especially the sideline shots. He's missing sideline shots quite a bit still. Let's be bold enough to understand that our DBs, I'm not sure we'll have our full complement out there yet. We're only recording this on Wednesday. but let's be confident that our DBs can do their job and we could send the 5th guy, sometimes the 6th guy. So let's not go with rushing 3, rushing 4, base package stuff and vanilla defense. Not the game for it. Do not be scared of this Bengals team right now.
Brandon, you got another one. We should use fire, but not play with fire in this way on defense.
Yeah, I can understand wanting to be aggressive against this Bengals team. I guess the other aspect that I'd like to see is Devin Witherspoon playing more inside the box than outside corner. And even with Jamal Adams coming back, if they're able to find a way to have both Witherspoon and Jamal inside the box, whether it's Jamal taking the place of Julian Love then, and playing more down inside while also having Witherspoon as the nickel corner and then having someone as the outside corner. I think I want to see what it looks like with both Devin and Jamal playing in the box, close to the line of scrimmage, closer to the football than not.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to see him implement that.
That's a lot of fire and juice there in the box with the two of them.
For sure. That's what I want to see.
Be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting to see. So I'm going to try to cross out play with fire.
I feel like that's kind of playing with fire right there.
Yeah. Careful.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. I think overall excited to see what that'll look like. But as far as the strategy to not implement, you're saying don't just leave Devin out on the outside or.
Well, that you didn't see Devin move inside until after Jamal came out, and maybe they had a plan to move Devin inside more and have both of those guys on the field at the same time, on either side of the line. And maybe we missed out on seeing it. So I want to see it.
Yeah. All right. Where are we going next then?
I think I saw Pete Carroll say the words fire truck on the sidelines against the Giants a couple times. So let's go with fire truck.
You might like to call for some fire trucks. Yeah. Fire truck category. Brandon, what if there are some Bengals who you fear might quench our fiery spirits? Who may come to Cincinnati's rescue in this matchup?
Ooh, yeah. When I think of guys that I am afraid of, the cover boys, Trey Hendrickson, he was one of them for sure. Sam Hubbard on the opposite side. And I think of, who are we going to have out there at the tackle spots? Abe Lucas, not going to be back for this game. Are we going to have Charles Cross? Either way, Charles Cross coming back off injury, is he going to be as effective as even Stone Forsythe as we've seen him in the last couple of weeks? And with this test of Hubbard and Hendrickson, I have to feel like one of those guys would be the fire truck to our fiery spirits, to continue with that metaphor. Those are the guys that I worry about. And can we stop them?
Yeah, I'd be afraid with one-on-one with Hendrickson with any of our tackles, but especially either a banged up guy or a backup in the Forsythe.
Jason Peters, we need him to catch some fire.
Yeah. How about you, Clinton? You got some who might be their fire trucks to the rescue here this week, Clinton?
I'm gonna take the lowest hanging fruit here, right? I mean, we have to. If we would not be doing the game justice if we're not talking about Jamar Chase, right? So let's just talk about Jamar Chase now. T. Higgins cracked ribs. It'll be interesting. Sometimes it's this interesting dichotomy that sometimes these dudes are actually better when the other one's not in. Sometimes. You wouldn't think that's the way, because another, let's say, really, all right, T. Higgins is not on the level, but another really complimentary piece. Okay, well then we really got to pay attention to him too. But then sometimes it spreads the ball around more, and then that takes away from one dude just getting into a hyper groove. Last game, all right, you got Tyler Boyd still there, and you mentioned the backup, which is what was his name there? Irwin, right. Trenton Irwin. So the other wide receiver getting some love too, but it's Chase, right? There's a reason that they manufactured touches for Chase against the Cardinals. Squeaky wheel, plus a coach can only be so dumb for so long to be like, all right, he's a top 2, Justin Jefferson, who's now hurt, but top 2 wide receiver in the league. We need to get this dude his touches. I believe they're going to take a very
Metcalf, and then
then
Jamar
Chase. Right. That's it. That's number one. Exactly right, Brandon. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to manufacture touches. They did quite a number of wide receiver screens, right? Just the hike, throw the ball. Joe Burrow I don't think he was under center even once. So by the way, a little bit of a flag that his calf ain't great. He's still back in shotgun all the time. That's the dude. Now the cool part is I like the idea that Brandon, to leapfrog off of what you said, is making sure that Witherspoon does get some of that slot play, because Jamar Chase plays quite a bit out of the slot also. We're not one to follow the dudes around. It's not how we typically do things. I just want to say I liked what you said there. I want that fire right down by the line, and I wanted Witherspoon. We need to mitigate Chase. I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But that's the one we got to do, man.
They got so many receivers. I know Adam thinks Boyd doesn't exist or he doesn't matter.
He doesn't like T. Higgins.
Oh, is it Higgins? I thought it was okay. So it's Higgins, and then he has DK above Chase. So I mean, hopefully Adam's right in this game.
Right in this game, let's hope.
Okay, Clinton, where are we going next? Eternal Flame, Flamethrower, or Fire in the Hole?
All right, you know what? I'm just gonna keep this song. Let's go to track 3. Let's spin it up there, and let's hit the This Love is an Eternal Flame there, Mr. Phil.
You can't resist. And I guess it had to be there on the Bengals game, right?
Yeah, Bengals on the Bengals, exactly.
Okay, here we go. What if our Eternal Flame, Coach Pete, can keep momentum coming off the bye? What must be unchanged? I know we talk lots about improvement, and I'm all about improvement, but what must be unchanged against the Bengals? What is Pete's "this can't slide back" for us?
Okay, let me think on this for a second, because I don't want to repeat some answers.
Sure.
No pun intended there. The thing that I think we will continue doing is still seeing the over usage, and I mean that to the positive, of the tight ends and the tight end scheme. And again, that diagnosis of Abe Lucas, like Pete's words, those were not exactly comforting words. It was like, yeah, we might get him back soon, but we absolutely won't rush this one whatsoever. And once we get back, we got to test the knee. It's like that one doesn't sound like he's specifically close. And Phil, like you said, or Brandon, maybe it was you, about like, what are we going to get from Cross game 1 back on? I'm sure the toe still hurts. So what do? You got good defensive ends. The Bengals do cause pressure. Well, let's get back to our 12 personnel. Let's get back to our 13 personnel. Let's do the wishbone-y stuff. Let's do the pistol style stuff. Let's get Geno purposely on the move outside the pocket in those particular packages. Yeah. And that's the thing that we should not change. I know people are clamoring for the JSN week. I know they want that.
It's in Ohio, Clinton. It's in Ohio.
I get all that. That's going to require more 11 personnel. And this is not yet the game to deploy that. It just ain't. Not until we're more sound on the front line. And this is a good defensive line, especially those defensive ends.
Keep the jumbo burning. How about you, Brandon?
Do it.
I'm going to say the thing that needs to remain unchanged is the ability to stop the run. And I know earlier we talked about, or hinted on, the Bengals making themselves one-dimensional. And that's what they've done, is that they've tended to just lean on the pass more than the run. And just looking in terms of the stats, they're 66% in terms of their pass play percentage to 33. So they're twice as more likely to throw than to run with the football. And they have a talented dude in Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
So I would be concerned if they were to let up and not be as concerned about stopping the run, because then I think it ends up being a recipe for a way to get beat. And I want them to continue being able to stop the run, so that way the Bengals don't get any crazy ideas and thinking that they can become two-dimensional against the Seahawks defense.
Yeah, if this O-line is running against us, that will mean that we've slid back somehow. I won't be pleased with that for sure.
Yeah, and I do want. I mean, do we really think Joe Mixon's that good of a running back, or has he been opportunistic on good offensive teams in the prime of his career? I think
He's good with a good offensive line. Their offensive line hasn't been good, and so he's kind of I'd say he's Cam Akers plus.
Okay, I'd say he's about Cam Akers, but I think we're on the same wave.
I think he's better than Akers, but
okay, fair is fair.
Yeah. Okay, so we're sitting here at Brandon. I will say I'm a little worried if we just try to focus on the run too much, because Burrow will kill us if we go in run stopping formations on first down. That's what he loves. So for the rest of the season, I don't want us to go backwards on our run defense, but maybe we lean in a little bit to stopping the pass on first down against this team.
Focused enough early so that they stick to being one-dimensional.
Okay, I got you.
That's what I want to see.
Fire in the hole or flamethrower?
Flamethrower. We're burning this down.
Okay, we'll go to our flamethrowers in this game. Here we go. What if the result comes down to the quarterbacks in a way? Whose strengths bring the bigger advantage on Sunday, and why? We're talking Geno versus Burrow. Whose strength is going to give you the bigger advantage, and how does that matter in this game?
Ooh, I mean, when it comes to the talent level of the quarterbacks, I'm struggling to think of an area of where Geno is necessarily better in some way than Burrow.
Okay,
Joe Burrow's so good. So, even when it comes to clutch time, and that's, I guess, where I would be the most concerned about is, say the Seahawks take a lead into the fourth quarter. I would be concerned about Burrow having the ball last and being able to find a way to drive down the field, because he's shown it multiple times. And we've seen moments for Geno, but the trust factor for me, I've seen it a lot more from Burrow.
Sure. And that makes a lot of sense. Maybe I'll switch it up a little bit for you then, Clinton. Is there an area that you feel like Geno has a strength that maybe Burrow doesn't, or that Geno could nose ahead of him on anything? Or is it all Burrow, like in every single way he's better than Geno?
No, it is not. I do have one, and hey, whether it's because of the current situation or not, let's see Geno escape and use his legs a few more times. Burrow can't do that right now. Not that Burrow can't get out of a little bit of pressure.
He did have 3 runs for 7 yards or something.
Right.
I don't know if I want to see Geno trying that knee either after getting it hurt against the Giants.
The knee's fine, as long as there's not a cheap tackle out of bounds as a dude climbs his back and puts all his weight on his back legs. Sure. So Geno is more mobile at this point with the injury. So when we are able to get a couple of third down scrambles or second down scrambles, broken down plays where Geno extends and gets a first down or two, and the Bengals can't, because that's just not in the game right now. That's number one. The second one I'll say is Geno under center, and then, because in my opinion, under center into play action, very, very, very effective.
No,
Bengals are not good. Let's see if they do it. They're not under center right now. So you got a run team that doesn't run you got a team that doesn't run the ball very well, doesn't run the ball, only 1/3 of the time anyway. Okay. So your play action is, but why should I believe you? Us, it's kind of different. We'll be under center more. We'll have these exotic packages. So play action, Geno, outside the numbers, and then using his legs to get a couple of first downs. Couple of ways we will best these Bengals, and Geno will be better than Burrow in Ohio.
First and second down, Geno is pretty good. Play action, Geno is top of the league in a lot of ways. So that was a good call by you. I was hoping you could come up with something that gave me some hope there. So thank you for saving the day on that question. I was about to fall into depression after Brandon's answer. Last one. One that we have is our fire in the hole. This is where we can get to our advantage.
Well, let me just say real quick, I was able to do some crack research. Fire in the Hole is a song by Steely Dan, also a song by Van Halen, also a song by Five Finger Death Punch, and others. So
It's a lot.
The Van Halen one doesn't count. That was like Gary Sharon version of Van Halen.
I don't. Oh, really? Is that then? Wowzers. Okay. Steely Dan wrote a song called Fire in the Hole. How about that? So Grammy winning Steely Dan. So to complete the CD, let's go with Fire in the Hole, song 4.
The first thrill ride I ever went to as an 8-year-old boy was called Fire in the Hole. And it's kind of south of Spokane in a place called not Spokane, that's where I live now, Springfield, Missouri, in a place called Silver Dollar City. And it was,
that's on here too, dude. It says the original Fire in the Hole theme song, Silver Dollar City. First thing that comes up on YouTube. Not joking.
Yeah, that was a fun kick. And my grandparents had season tickets, and all I wanted to do was ride Fire in the Hole over and over. I didn't want to do anything else at Silver Dollar City as a little boy. So
awesome.
I know everybody wanted to hear about that. Let's get to the last question, the final what if question. Clinton, what if the Hawks can keep the run game ignited against this TRBL Charles Barkley terrible rush defense? The big holes that we see every time you watch the Bengals play. How will that impact game script? We talked about, I think Brandon already brought up, we want at least 160 yards. How's that going to affect the overall script if we are dominating them through the hole in the run game?
Yeah, positively, like first and foremost, right? I mean, the obvious thing there. I think this is going to be where the Giants game, you know, we had our offensive deficiencies, but I really think we had some very legitimate reasons why it was difficult at points for us offensively. The whole line being out, being the main one there. I think this is going to be the ability for us to have what is like the Carolina Panthers type game if this goes our way, which was and by the way, sans the 5 field goals to start the freaking game, right? So let's try to eradicate that. But sans those 5 freaking field goals that let Carolina stick around for a little bit, Carolina was not really in that game. They only were because we couldn't convert in the red zone. That's the only reason. So if we're controlling the ball the way that we can with Sharbs and with K9, this is actually a game that I think Seattle could sneakily win by more than what Vegas thinks is possible right now. Right now, Seattle's getting like 2 or 2.5. We're underdogs. That's it, man. It's like we can control this game in the very Seahawky way that Pete wants to control this game, where we pull away in the fourth quarter and we look back and go, this game actually wasn't that close. We kind of had this from Jump Street. That's how it could play out.
How about you, Brandon? Is this question just too easy and obvious, or do you have any nuance to add to what could happen?
Well, thanks, Phil.
Good. I'm sorry. I just meant, I realized as I read my own question, I'm like, okay, this is called leading the witness, I guess, but maybe you got some good stuff.
Well, I think some people too, when you're playing a team that throws the ball effectively, I think the tendency is to want to keep up with them, right? And throw the ball as well. And I want to see Burrow on the field for as little as possible. So if you're talking about getting the run game going, the idea is that you're trying to win time of possession. And by winning time of possession, you're also keeping Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase off the field, their 2 biggest weapons. And so that can impact the game script. It also impacts it in the way of making play action more effective. If the defense is having to sit on that run game, thinking that the Hawks are just going to pound the rock, it does open up Geno to be as effective as he's been through these first few weeks of the season in play action. So having the run game is kind of what hinges offensive success for the Seahawks against the Bengals defense. And it would allow, like Clinton said, to that potential of putting a big score on this Bengals defense.
And I've got one more thing to add here, which is I don't think Seattle will do this. However, you're seeing it a little bit more in the NFL. And this is not the tush push or the brotherly shove. What you're seeing, though, are teams that can run the ball treating 3rd and 6. And they're going into that being like, we're going to run the ball on 3rd down, and then we're going to run the ball on 4th down. Yeah. And you see the Eagles do that, and you see the Lions do that. They can move people, and they're like, we don't care. We're at our own 48. We're at the opponent 42. It's 3rd and 5. We're running the ball. Good luck. And they get it. They get to 4th and 1.
Defense that they show
Yes.
on 3rd down, and they're so spread out. It opens up the middle of that field to where if you can't get 5 yards against that defense, then your offensive line is bad.
Right.
I love that. I love that.
It's a trend we're starting to see with good offensive lines, and you give a ball to like a guy like David Montgomery who goes forward fast. He hits the hole hard. That's Charbonnet, man. So could we start to adopt some of that? I would love to see some of that. I'm not sure we will, but boy, would I like to see a little bit of that, because I think that's a way to get that 1 or 2 extra first downs a game, and you steal 4 more minutes off the clock. It's big.
Yeah, maybe he's going to be our 3rd and medium back. I could see that. I like the sound of this very much so. All right, well, let's move into, we're going to get to our wishes, but first we have our From the Flock. We're going to hear from them, ask them to throw their wishes in, those in Discord. And Brandon, how do people get in Discord again? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, if you want to become a member of the flock, you can go to getintheflock.com, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit that join button and become a member there. And each one of those will get you invites into our Discord group. Anybody supporting the show at $3 and above.
Sweet. Okay. Witherfork, my wish this week, 3 tackles for loss by Jamal Adams. Red Wagon, to make the Bengals look like the Bungles again. Avenge the Cards. Why are we avenging the Cards? I don't know, but if that's what it takes to motivate us, that's fine. And
avenge the NFC West, because the Bengals, their 2 wins are against NFC West teams.
Got it. There we go. And I'm fine with that. I'd love the Bengals even more if we're the only one that beat them out of the division. That's fine. Stack another no questions win against what was supposed to be a superb Owl contender. B-Wag's biceps. They're more of an average Owl contender, was his response. Car, she said, my wish didn't come true last week, so let's try this week. My wish, Jamal Adams plays and is not injured. We had another fella wish for that. So we got double wishes thrown into the wishing well for that one, and a lot of ends on it. Frost, my wish for the defense to continue to be creative and aggressive. Bring blitzers from all over the field. I'd like to see 4 sacks. There you go, Clinton. 4 sacks. At least 1 from Adams. Josh DeHuman, my wish is for Jamal, Witherspoon, Bobby, and Mafe each to get a sack this week. So Josh took Frost's wish and just split it into the 4 that he wants to get them. So there we go.
Quadruple down on it. There you go.
Yeah. Tangled Bag. My wish is for Charles Cross's return and Jason Peters gets involved. There we go. A 6th lineman. How about that? JSN can get going and have a monster game, as we'll be less reliant on help from the excellent, I love all 3, tight end group. Would be great to see, and I'm rooting like crazy for the dude. His breakout will come, and this game could just be the one. Wish. I don't know how one wish and the stream of consciousness wish went in their Tangled Bag, but I like where your thoughts are going. Good ideas. So we got to get to our co-hosts' wishes here as we move to What If Superhawk, starting with Brandon. We've been waiting to get some wishes to come true. Give us one.
All right. For my wish, and this is going to also play into my prediction. Is it okay if I do both in one? I'm going to do both.
My memory, I think, can handle that.
Okay.
Twofer.
My what if Superhawk for the game against the Bengals is going to be our kicker, Jason Myers. He needs just 1 more made field goal to set a franchise record of 20 consecutive games with a made field goal. And he could do it coming up against the Bengals. And I'm thinking with this game, it's going to be a back and forth one. The Bengals are going to be up 29-28 with under 2 minutes to go. Geno Smith gets the ball back, drives the Seahawks down the field into field goal range to line up for a 40-plus yard field goal. And it's Jason Myers kicking it through the uprights. He gets his 1 made field goal to set the franchise record, and the Seahawks win 31-29.
So game-winning field goal by Myers is your wish. 31-29.
My wish is just a completed field goal.
No. You don't get to take one. He tried
He's
so
only
hard.
done it the last 19 games. I wonder if he'll do it.
I'm talking about a franchise record for our kicker.
Yeah,
He's done it the last 19 games. I wonder, Brandon, is there a chance he's going to do it in this game?
Right, exactly. So yeah, okay. So it is a
I thought it was
game-winning
a
field
game
goal.
winner, but we'll take it. A field goal. Okay,
Yeah.
Clinton.
Yeah, a game-winning field goal. Got it.
What
Okay.
if Super Hawk for you?
Yeah, so my heart will go on forever, and I feel that it's calling me to Boye Mafe, man. He has been where like others, Uchenna's getting the 2 sacks and Bobby, of course, with 17 tackles and 2 sacks himself. Just other dudes kind of getting some of the love. Boye, you see the ESPN, pass rush win rate stats, and he is pitching into the elite stratosphere this year. I'm going to say, let's keep the good vibes going. I'm going to go with a simple line here of Mafe tallying 1.5 or more sacks, for the win there. And I could continue on if it's easier to give my prediction as well, Mr. Phil. Should I just continue on or want me to pause? Up to you.
We can go over here to this.
Okay. Predicting the score. Gotcha.
There we go.
I don't know. Hey, Clinton, I don't know which one is going to be harder's wish to come true. The 1.5 sacks for Mafe or Mr. Myers making an anytime field goal.
Yes. The anytime field goal. Yes. And also, yeah. So, okay, I'll just give my score. Brandon was 31-29. Yeah. I think, interestingly enough, I think we score around the same amount. Looks like good weather again. So it looks like cloudy, but that's about it. Like cloudy and like high 50s, low 60s. So polite little day in Cincinnati. You can get a lot of wind in that part of the country. Doesn't look like that'll be an issue. I think we're scoring 30 points again. And I think we're going to do a better job. We are a better defense than the Arizona Cardinals. We just are. We're a better team, the Arizona Cardinals. They've been scrappy. They've been ferocious, and they're playing really well for their new coach. We're better than they are. Yeah. We win this game. I'm going to go 30-22, 8-point victory for our Seahawks on the road to take us to 4-1. Just like my record's going to be on What If after this week's What If Super Hawk.
Just for the record, I have our team scoring more points than Clinton.
Yes,
that's true.
You have our team scoring more, and a game-winning field goal by Myers would be cool. Either one of these I'll totally enjoy. I'll enjoy anything that involves a win.
True.
So we'll see what takes place. Anything else to add, gentlemen?
Instead of any time field goal, how about a critical field goal?
A critical.
Okay, so here's how we'll do it, Brandon. If we win by a field goal margin, then the field goal is critical, right?
We'll see.
We'll win by 20.
Judgment call on your part, Bill.
Oh, that just puts me in the crosshairs. I was like, if we win by 20 and Myers makes a field goal, I don't know if it's critical.
So Phil, one thing we didn't cover real quick is, I see the scoreboard here. I'm up 3-1 on Brandon. So how did I win versus him when we played the G-Men? How did I do better?
You had a bigger margin of victory.
Gotcha.
Neither one of the wishes came true, but someone had 100 yards for Lockett. I had it down here. Let's see. Tyler, 100 yards was Brandon because it was kind of like a vengeful response. And then you had Geno 74%, 2 touchdowns, no INTs. So
that was wrong.
Yeah. Well, wrong. Tyler getting 100 yards. The team barely had 100 yards receiving.
Yeah, true fact.
It was a defense. If you guys had picked anything defense, you'd have been fine, probably.
Yeah. Here I was talking about 8 sacks, but not wishing for 8 sacks. So shame on me.
Very good. All right, gentlemen. That's it then. Nothing else for this game.
Let's go win.
We had our weather update from Clinton. We have our how it's going to go down from Brandon. We typically get these at the end. So I know you're glad you stuck around to hear how the game's going to go in this version of the multiverse, what the weather's going to be like. And with that, gentlemen, what if we say go Hawks?
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Burn those Bengals.
Careful.